Companies are making a big push towards AI. Questions remain over how quickly workers can adapt. CNA's China correspondent Tan Sihui spoke with Manpower Group CEO Jonas Prising at the World Economic Forum in Dalian. He gave his take on how workforce readiness may not be matching the pace of AI adoption.
As we listened to the narrative, and especially the early narrative, it was very heavily focused on, the great promise of productivity improvement, but sadly lots of jobs being lost. And as labor market experts, as we think about the evolution of labor markets, first of all, right now, we're not seeing any impact of AI into the labor markets. There are some specific jobs, call centers, coding, content creation, where you can see a drop in demand for those skills, but they still tend to have very, very high ranking in terms of jobs that companies are looking for, talent for. But if you then think about this from a historical perspective, we are in a disruptive time. But there's every belief from our side that, as we have seen in all of these technological evolutions in the past, we're going to see net employment growth. Because we can already see the unintended consequences of some of these new technologies, the demand for data analysts, project engineers for data centers, all the component manufacturers that are going to fueling the infrastructure. All of those jobs are new or significantly increased of an existing demand. So just as in times past, we think that this will eventually amount to very positive job growth for those that have the right skills. So as individuals, we all want to and should engage in learning about AI, using it as consumers and using it also in our professional lives as much as we can.
So from what I'm hearing, it seems like the pace is very fast, the pace of AI adoption, and it seems to be faster than workforce readiness. What is the most common mistake that they're making, and that they're assuming that technology can close that skills gap on its own?
Yeah, I think the pace of the technological evolution is accelerating in a way that's, mesmerizing all of us. And what we can do as individuals when we are, working with, various large language models is amazing. We confuse that, though, with the adaptation and implementation at scale. And what we see is that human behavior really dictates the speed and scale of the adoption. And what a lot of organizations are realizing is that this is less about the technology and more about change management, end-to-end process transformation, and culture. Because bringing the workforce along, explaining with clarity what the organization wants AI to do for the business, how it's going to be beneficial to the team members, and what they need to do to prepare for this, that clarity is still sorely lacking. So we are very optimistic in terms of the impact of the technology over time, but we think that the implementation at scale is going to take much longer than what the current narrative implies, and certainly what the technological evolution implies as well.
So there seems to be a disconnect. Should there be a more coordinated attempt to close that gap, and how should that be done?
I think many organizations are waking up to the fact that this is a lot about people. So paradoxically, the more we bring technology into play, the more we have an importance to bring our people along, give them the right tools so they can benefit from this, explain to them where the organization is going and what kind of value creation this will be for the organization and for the individual. And when that happens, we will see the pace of adoption at scale and implementation really start to take hold in a much greater way than we've seen so far.